Okay, welcome in one all. I'm now going to be reviewing all of Friday's action from the NHL. There are only 4 games on tap, therefore 8 teams were hungry for 2 points in the standings, starting with the Detroit Red Wings, who were in Carolina to take on the Hurricanes. We'll take a look at the game recap. So Costin would kick things off for the Red Wings in the first 2 minutes and 27 seconds into that opening frame, recording his third goal of the season from Bellino and Sprong. Martinook would tie the game up less than a minute after that, 3 minutes and 14 seconds to be exact, recording his sixth goal of the season from Burns and Jordan Staal. So after one, we were all tied up at 1. And the second, Nietzsche would put the Hurricanes on the board late in that frame, 3 minutes and 35 seconds to be exact, getting his 10th goal of the season, Bunting and Orlov. JT Compher will get a very late goal for the Red Wings power play with 43 seconds to go, his 10th of the season from Larkin and Shane Gothisberg. So after 40 minutes of play, we were all tied up at 2. Svechnikov would break the tie in the third, 10 minutes and 46 seconds into that frame, or 9 minutes and 14 seconds remaining, getting his 11th goal of the season from Bunting and Sebastian Aho, a power play goal. Speaking of Aho, he would then get on the goal score sheet himself, getting his 16th goal of the season from Nietzsche and Svechnikov, and that goal happened with 1 minute and 16 seconds to go in the game. So 4-2 would be the final score in favor of Carolina. With the victory, the Hurricanes are 25-14-5, and despite the loss, the Reds are 22-17-5. All right, now we're off to Columbus. We have the Blue Jackets. They played host to New Jersey Devils. All right, let's take a look at the game recap. So there's no scoring in the first. We jump all the way ahead to the second period. Just 28 seconds into that frame, Marino would kick things off for the Devils. Oh, I apologize. I totally screwed this up. In the first, Sillinger would make it 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jackets, getting his 8th goal of the season from Chinnikov and Gaudreau. 4 minutes and 21 seconds into that frame. That would be his 8th goal of the season. In the second, Marino would tie the game up, getting his 3rd goal of the year, assisted by Nemec. Holtz would give the Devils a 2-1 lead. 8 minutes and 40 seconds into that frame, getting his 12th goal of the season from Foote and Woolman. He sure increased the lead to 3-1 with just under 7 minutes to go, 6 minutes and 29 seconds to be exact, getting his 12th goal of the season. And just over a minute after that, Batsian would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 3rd goal of the season from Ball. And that goal happened with 5 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the frame. So the Blue Jackets were up 1-0 after 20, gave up 4 in the second, and that's where we would stand at the end of regulation. So with the victory, the Devils are 23-18-3, and the Blue Jackets are now still at the bottom of that Metropolitan Division, 14-22-9. All right, now we're off to Florida. We have the Panthers, who played host to the Minnesota Wild. All right, we'll take a look at this game recap in just a moment. So in the first, Kaprizov would kick things off for the Wild, getting a power play goal, 2 minutes and 49 seconds into that frame, his 14th goal of the season from Boldy and Faber. In the second, Ekblad would tie the game up at 1, getting his 2nd goal of the game from Tkachuk and Verhaeghe, and that will happen just 35 seconds into that middle frame. Hartman would get a power play goal for the Wild, getting his 14th goal of the season from Golgowski and Pat Maroon. Faber would increase the lead to 3-1, getting a power play goal of his own, his 3rd of the season from Boldy and Eriksson Ek, 7 minutes and 36 seconds into that frame. Yet another power play goal, their 4th of the game. Zuccarello would increase the lead to 4-1 with 10 minutes and 32 seconds in that period, or 9 minutes and 28 seconds left in the frame. Zuccarello would get his 8th of the season from Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov. Leo Strinan would cut the deficit in half with 1.5 minutes to go, his 8th goal of the season from Lundell and Ekblad. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 4-2 in favor of the Wild. Kaprizov will get his 2nd goal of the game, his 15th of the season for Zuccarello in favor, 41 seconds into that 3rd period, a power play goal, so their 5th power play goal of the game. Lundell would cut the deficit to 5-3, 8 minutes and 5 seconds into that frame, getting his 3rd goal of the season from Ekblad and Sam Reinhart. Forsling would score less than 20 seconds after that, getting his 7th of the season from Ekblad as well. That'd be his 7th goal of the year. So it was 5-4 at that point in favor of the Wild. Hartman would add an empty netter at the end of the game, his 2nd of the game, his 15th of the season with 12 seconds remaining on the clock. So 6-4 would be the final. So it looked like the Wild were pulling away with this. The Florida Panthers were kind of coming back, but unfortunately they just fell short and they lost in this game. But despite the loss, they're still sitting second in that Atlantic Division with a record of 27-14-4. And the Minnesota Wild, I believe, are 19-21-5. All right, the last game from Friday took place in Chicago, and they played host to the New York Islanders. All right, we'll take a look at the game recap from this particular matchup. So Nelson would kick things off in the first 6 minutes and 9 seconds into that frame, his 20th goal of the season from Fasching and Palmieri. In the second, Tkachuk would tie the game up late in that frame with just under 2 minutes to go in the period, a minute and 53 seconds to be exact. His 5th goal of the season from Sanford and Johnson. Anderson would get his first goal of the season for the Blackhawks with just 46 seconds to go, making the 2-1, assisted by Blackwell and Dickinson. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 2-1 in favor of the Hawks. Speaking of Dickinson, he would get on the goal score sheet himself, 5 minutes and 10 seconds into that frame, his 15th of the year, assisted by Anderson and Seth Jones. Bo Horvat would cut the deficit to 3-2, getting his 18th of the season from Barzal and Dobson, 6 minutes and 38 seconds into that frame. And with just under 8 minutes to go, 7 minutes and 10 seconds to be exact, Palmieri would tie the game up, getting his 11th of the season from Dobson and Romanov. So there was no scoring the rest of that period. We needed the extra frame, and just 22 seconds into that overtime period, it's hard to believe that Seth Jones, up until this point, hadn't scored, but he'd finally get the game-winning goal, his first of the season, from Tkachuk and Dickinson. So 4-3 would be the final score in favor of the Blackhawks. Despite the win, they still are last in that Central Division with a record of 14-30-2, while the Islanders are 19-15-11. All right, that takes care of my recap from Friday night. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. And until next time, take care.